So recently it's come to my attention via myself that I can be really fucking boring in these videos. And part of the reason I think is because I am really long-winded. And I'm sorry about that. So, part of my plan going forward is to not be so goddamn long-winded. So let's get into the makeup. Okay, let me just get into kind of the tea here right now. So I've had a few people who know me kind of personally. One in particular who I'm not going to name check because I'm not really trying to read her, but this is just kind of a response in general about this. So she was telling me how she wanted me to talk a little bit about my transition story and like day-to-day experiences and stuff like that. And honestly, here's the thing with that, okay? It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I do have a video coming up that's like a story time of me getting on hormones, and it's going to be, I think, good. It's pretty funny because it was just a weird fucking situation all around. But, you know, it's obviously something I'm going to be talking about. Like, it's not that... I don't know where my primer is. My other primer. Fuck it, we're going bare. We're going bare! We're doing it live. So, where was I? That's the problem with trying to be, like, entertaining. No, but honestly, you know, it's one of those things for me that I don't really... I have not wanted on this channel to, like, say what this channel is and what it isn't, because it's really just about me kind of expressing myself and having fun and just, you know, doing whatever the hell I want, and obviously doing makeup because that's just what this channel has really become without my intending it to. So I would apologize for that, but it's my goddamn channel. So, you know, I'm very, very wary to try and specify like what this channel is, what it isn't, but I don't necessarily want this to be like, you know, 1,000 stories about my transition, or even like a transition or trans YouTube channel. Like, and the thing is too, like, I honestly can't, because I did it 2 years ago. You know, I'm already past the point where I could actually make this vlog about my transition experience, because I already did it 2 years ago. I've had my name changed for 2 years. I've had my gender marker changed for 2 years. I've been on hormones for 2 years. So for me, there's really nothing to talk about with this. This isn't something that like affects my daily life to the point that, you know, I would want to talk about it in a vlog. Honestly, the most I ever talk about it is on YouTube. Like, I don't talk about this shit in real life. I have maybe, I would say, 2 trans friends in real life. And of the 2 of them, I only talk to one of them kind of with any kind of regularity. And of, you know, me and her, we don't talk about trans stuff all the time. We don't talk about trans stuff, like, ever. The only time I ever discussed it was like when we first started talking, and I was telling her something, I think about like hormones or something like that. But we don't talk about trans stuff all the time. This isn't something that I talk about with people on a regular basis. It's not something that I'm like just having conversations with people, you know, normally. And I think that's true of a lot of things. Now, I get that like visibility is important, and, you know, having these conversations is important for younger trans people because we all need to be visible. I'm all about that, and obviously I can't separate my transness from the rest of me. But at the same time, like, I don't want that to be the focus of my channel. I don't want that to be like all I ever talk about, and, you know, something that I have to constantly discuss and do vlogs about and, you know, there's probably some story times coming related to my transition, because there's definitely been like interesting / comical moments. I don't know why I felt the need to smell that, because it smells interesting. Not bad interesting, but interesting. But like, it's not something I talk about on a regular basis. It's not something that people don't know it about me. I don't have to talk about it because it doesn't come up in a regular conversation. And I realize that I'm very, very privileged for that fact. I understand that the fact that I don't have to talk about it is a big, big, you know, factor of my privilege. But I also shouldn't have to talk about it on YouTube just to, like, I don't know exactly, prove a point. You know, it's not something I discuss a ton in real life, and except for like dysphoric outbursts where, you know, my dysphoria decides to get the better of me, it's not something that comes up. But, you know, it's just like one of those things that it's not something that comes up a lot in my real life. And so I feel like it would be disingenuous of me to talk about it so much online when it's just kind of something. It's like, it's a part of my life, but at the same time, it doesn't affect every facet of my life. It doesn't even affect like 10% of my life. My boyfriend doesn't care. In fact, he's told me he often forgets. I often forget. People who know me very well often forget. I had a good girlfriend that I work with tell me that she almost asked me for a pad one time. That's how much people don't think about the trans thing. And like, I've actually thought about keeping them because it seems like it would be easier and helpful to other people. Plus, when I first started transitioning, I thought about keeping them because it would be like less obvious that I was trans if I had them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what my thought process was there. But like, it's just, it doesn't come up. It's not a conversation that I'm having with people all the time. And I honestly don't even know what to say about it that would add something new to this conversation. I don't feel like anything I could possibly say would be new or innovative or be something you haven't heard 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways. And to be perfectly honest, and I know this is like, you know, shady or an excuse or whatever, but I mean, there's plenty of people who talk about this and talk about it very, very well. And if you're not going to hear it from them, why should you listen to my story about transitioning? You know, there's plenty of YouTubers with a lot bigger platforms who talk about their transition experience all the time. I don't know how much Gigi talks about it because I don't really follow her that closely. But I know Kat talks about it quite a bit, Kat Black. I know Julie Vu, who is also Princess Jules, talks about it all the time. I know Riley, who is trans, but also technically gender fluid or gender queer, talks about it quite a bit. I know Contra talks about it quite a bit. I know there's probably a ton of YouTubers who talk about it quite a bit and probably in a lot better ways than I did. And honestly, speaking of Contra, they did a very, very good video about dysphoria, and you should definitely check it out because it was very, very good. And I think explained things a lot better than I could ever hope to. There's a part of me that wants to like try and do my eyeshadow with my illuminating trio, but somehow I don't know how well that's going to work. Let's just try to see what happens. Yay! Because I have so many color choices. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not something I talk about often enough for it to be, you know, a subject that I discuss so frequently on my blog. It just really isn't. Or my blog, my YouTube channel. It's just not something I talk about. And it's not for a lack of, like, wanting to. It's just like, I don't, well, it is for a lack of wanting to, but it's also like, I don't know what the hell to say about it. I don't know what I could possibly say that would interest people about this conversation. I transitioned. I did most of it 2 years ago. I did the part that anyone would even want to listen to 2 years ago. It doesn't affect my daily life. I haven't, the job I got living full-time as a woman. I was already identifying, so I didn't have any trouble at my job transitioning. The only person who knew in the beginning was my, I guess, general manager is what he'd be. And he's the only person who knew in the beginning, and I told people sporadically as time went on, and I felt more comfortable. But that was about it with that. And then it's actually turned out a lot better than I would have expected. So I'm kind of impressed with myself. Maybe I'm starting a new trend that's going to go viral and everyone's going to do it. Okay. But anyway, it just hasn't been a thing for me. It's not something that people have discussed. It's not something that has even remotely come up. This is going to be like a nude eye look is what I'm gathering. It doesn't come up. And I'm very, very fortunate that it doesn't come up. But it's also something that I don't bring up either. Like the people who I think should know. And everybody else, it's none of their goddamn business. And that's how I feel about a lot of conversations about transition. It's nobody's goddamn business. And if you make it someone's business, then okay. But like, you don't have to make it someone's business. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me, what do you want to hear me talk about next? What do you want to see a video of? Are you going to try Illuminator as your eyeshadow? Because I think it looks really fucking good. So, yeah, take that. And as always, leave me a subscribe because YouTube isn't free, except that it is. And your cost, though, is a subscribe. So, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, bye.